As you may have guessed, our story has to do with Christmas, which in itself is not exactly unusual this time of the year, except for one thing. It began some weeks ago in Temple Beth Sholem at a Board of Trustees meeting, and I was convinced that it would end in disaster. This plan can only end in disaster.
Why disaster?
Please, let us give Sidney Weinberg a chance to explain his proposal in more detail. Sidney.
Well, I got the idea during our own high holy days in September. Yom Kippur, in fact. Jimmy Terrazzo is a supervisor in a post office where I work. And he said to me, Sidney, your holiday starts at sundown, right? Why don't you take the afternoon off? Go home, get cleaned up, spend some time with your family before the prayers begin. Well, I said I would like that fine, but I had to work until 6. He says, no problem, I'll cover for you. And things were tough that day. We had money orders, registered mail, and parcel post you wouldn't believe. So I know that Jimmy worked overtime. Well, I just thought it was a decent thing for him to do, and I thought I'd like to return the favor.
Fine. Return it. By giving the man a nice bottle of wine or a nice cigarette lighter, but not a plan to trap us all.
Morris, it's not a trap.
Sounds like a trap.
No, Morris, it's not a trap. It's just a gesture of goodwill and thanks to our Christian neighbors.
By taking over every job on Christmas?
Not every job.
It's just the
Now,
jobs of
wait.
people
Now,
that-
just wait a minute. As I understand it, we would volunteer to fill the jobs of people who have to work, but who would rather be with their families.
It's been done before. In Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Portland, Oregon, too.
Maybe we should contact those communities. Make a study in depth.
Leo, we haven't got time for a study. It's only 6 weeks until Christmas.
What does the sisterhood think of this?
Assuming 200 of our members go out on these jobs, when they finish, they come back here to the temple for a meal. I can cater and serve with 25 sisterhood ladies. We'll raffle a door prize to make the expense. All excess profits going to cancer, the heart fund, and community chest.
You know, if the world were coming to an end, Rita Solomon would see it as a chance for fundraising.
Oh, the world's always coming to an end, according to Glickstein, the prophet of doom.
How can doom be avoided unless it's first prophesied?
Oh, Morris,
Will you please think? It's Christmas, so we take these jobs. So you become a policeman, you become a fireman, you become something else. But just think. Just suppose that things go wrong. An emergency here, a crisis there, an important job botched up because of inexperience. Who gets the blame? What happens to our relations with our Christian neighbors then? I'll tell you what happens. Disaster.
Well, again with disaster.
Will everyone sit down? Please, will everyone sit down? We're obviously faced with a difficult decision here. So, I think it only appropriate to turn to our rabbi.
Mr. President, I think Morris Glickstein has a valid point.
Uh-huh.
There is certainly risk involved. However, I don't know anything of value that was ever accomplished without a risk.
Mm-hmm.
What does our religion say on the matter? We are taught in the book of Leviticus to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, a radical concept in its time. And maybe it still is. But no one ever said it was safe.
All those in favor of Sidney's proposal?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Proposition carried. Now that we've settled down on something, we might as well
The seeds of our destruction were sown. Yes, course, the seeds of our destruction were sown when these announcements appeared in the local papers. All Christians who had to work on Christmas could now be relieved by members of Temple Beth Sholem. Some of us went to see Reverend Powers of the Interchurch Council.
Well, gentlemen, the response is not quite what we thought it would be.
Hardly any requests, I hope.
Oh, on the contrary, nearly twice as many as we expected. Can you handle that, David?
We'll find a way.
A lot of our youngsters will be home from college. That'll give us plenty of extra manpower.
And our people will be happy to help any way they can, answering telephones, desk work, chauffeuring.
We figure you'll need all the help you can get, just in case you're in over your heads.
Now there is a man of vision,
No, I see my vision is shared.
in all its deadly pallor.
Mr. Walsh, I'm sure we can cover all of these all right.
Have you thought about putting someone in the power generating plant?
For electrocution?
That's a distinct possibility.
Look, Mr. Walsh, I'm sure we can handle everything.
Well, David, it appears we both have our skeptics.
Glickstein is a special case. He's a successful man who feels his luck might change if he ever stops worrying. It's like a penance. For him, each dawn promises failure. A cloudless sky means drought, and a rosy sunset holds only the hint of a fire in a neighboring town.
You know, I had a parishioner like that once. We cured him by committee.
Rabbi Miller has requested this meeting on an urgent basis, so I'll let him explain.
I have begun to realize, as Morris Glickstein has pointed out, that the dangers of failure are considerable.
See?
Therefore, our choice of leadership must be carefully weighed. I have a list of possible chairmen for the Jobs for Christmas Committee. I would appreciate your advice and counsel.
Of course, Rabbi. Anything you...
Arthur Grossman,
Possibility?
He'll take a year to decide.
Harold Schwartz,
Never makes a meeting on time.
Bess Handelman,
Please, no.
Bob Wexler.
Bob Wexler, he'll submit an expense account that'll wipe out the building fund.
Well, that only leaves one possible choice. Congratulations, Morris.
Morris, you're the man.
Wait a minute. Hold it. I didn't say.
I'll be right back.
Give me the door.
Now, first of all, I'll tell you.
I called him if we wasn't home.
Yes, but I think going with you.
Temple Beth Sholem means House of Peace. My committee made hundreds of telephone calls trying to match up jobs with volunteers who are at least a little qualified and who are willing to work for nothing. That turned out to be everyone.
I need a night security guard.
Try Cy Perlman. He's a retired cop.
Do we know anyone who can operate a switchboard?
Switchboard, try Gladys Mandel. She does that for my company.
Gladys Mandela.
Hello, Cy. This is Rita Solomon at Temple. Yeah. How'd you like to be a policeman again? No, you wouldn't lose your pension. It's just for one night. Cy, you'll be the Kojak of the A&P.
Yeah, that's right, Marvin. An usher at the Twin Plaza movie theaters. Hey, you'll see 2 movies and all the popcorn you can eat. Oh, Mar, bring your own flashlight.
Hello, Gladys Mandel. This is Morris Glickstein. I'm the chairman of the Jobs for Christmas Committee. I'm calling you personally about our project. Yes, I wonder if you'd be willing to donate your services for a
Hello, Mr. Friedman. This is Reverend Powers calling from the Temple Beth Sholem. No, sir, it's not a Halloween joke. We have a project here that we thought you might be interested in.
Well, just a moment, I'll see. Do we have any bartenders?
Try Dan Levine. He knows how to do that.
Hello? Yes, Leo. What's up? Would we volunteer for what? Oh. Well, I don't see how that's possible. We're going away the next day and we have... Oh. Well, that's possible. I'll have to check with Marcia first. I'll get back to you later. Goodbye.
Who's that?
Leo Silver from Temple wants to know if we'll volunteer for that Christmas project. They want us to manage a bar and grill, just for one night. Might be kind of fun. We wouldn't get much sleep, but we could make up for it the next day.
You mean I'll sleep on the plane to Bermuda and you'll sack out in Arnie Magruder's car on the way to the Pocono Lodge?
Marcia. How about it, hmm?
Which one do you like best?
Well, I'd have to see them on you.
You have. You just don't remember.
I do remember. You look terrific in both.
Thanks. That'll give me confidence with the beautiful people.
Marcia, hold it. Hold it right there. No. You're angry. That's not how we wanted it to be.
Not angry, Dan. Maybe just a little hurt after our famous talk last week, but I'm over that.
I don't think you are.
You can think what you want.
Marcia, wait! Look, I know things haven't been great between us. Not in any room of this house. That's why we agreed to this thing. But if it's going to upset you, we can still change our plans. We don't have to go...
No, we're not changing any plans. First aid, you called it. Resuscitation for a marriage gone stale. Separate vacations and separate lives for 2 weeks starting Christmas. We allow ourselves to be people again and to enjoy other people. And no one has to tell what happened later. That's what you wanted, Dan. I'll tell you something. I'm beginning to like the idea very much.
As Christmas got closer, I could feel the disaster approaching, even though we had more volunteers than jobs to be filled. Leo Silva's son, Barry, volunteered to replace the disc jockey on our local radio station, and some of our sisterhood ladies signed up to work in hospitals.
Now, you report to Nurse Bradford in pediatrics at 6 p.m.
It'd be like old time.
Yeah, that's right. You worked there, didn't you?
More than 20 years ago. I hope you told them I'm out of practice. At my stage, I could easily mix up the plasma with the ginger ale.
Adele.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from my cousin Stu. Did everything go all right?
We had a very pleasant evening.
Just pleasant?
Rita, what would you rather hear, wildly romantic or wickedly passionate?
Well, that wouldn't be awful.
I am a 45-year-old woman. I was fortunate enough to have a wonderful marriage for 21 beautiful years. He left me very well provided for, in comforts as well as memories. So please, I am not looking for changes. Thank you all the same.
D-Day finally came, and I knew how General Eisenhower must have felt when his troops were approaching the beaches of France.
That must be them. Well, that's a cute little red sports car, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, Mimi. Anyone that drive a bug like that ain't hardly the type to run an Horgan's bar.
Oh, it's only for one night. Now, don't be such a worrywart.
Yeah, sure.
Come in, come in. Hello.
Hi.
Oh.
Dan and Marcia Levine.
We're the ones who are going
Yes,
to take care of you.
yes, I know. And it's a wonderful thing you're doing. Not in 7 years have we spent Christmas Eve with our daughter and grandchildren. I'm Mimi Horgan, and this is my husband, Fred.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Is it all right if we park out there?
Well, the car that size, I don't think anyone's going to notice.
Well, now, I'll give you the key so that you can lock up when you leave. Front door, back door. Oh, this one's a little stiff. You can give it an extra twist.
Yes.
Well, come on. I want to get started.
Well, no, wait a minute, Mimi. We still got things to talk over here. Levine, could I speak with you for a moment, please?
Sure, Fred.
Listen, they tell me that you've had experience tending bar.
Oh, I can mix most drinks.
Yeah? Oh, what kind of experience? Where? A hotel bar, a neighborhood pub?
Not exactly in a bar.
Experience, where?
I mixed all the drinks at the Temple dinner dance last February.
You mean you're not a real bartender?
Oh, I'm an English teacher at Central High.
You're... Mimi, Mimi, can I talk to you for a minute?
No, now he said he can mix most drinks.
but an
Well,
English
what
teacher-
else does he have to know? And besides, how many people come in here on Christmas Eve anyway?
Yeah, but not English
Maybe
teachers. They don't
half
come
a
in.
dozen at the most is all you can expect. They're mostly people who have no families. They make this place their second home. They'll come in for a drink, maybe something to eat, and then they'll go home early.
Something to eat?
Oh, it's all prepared. I make a stew every Christmas Eve. It's sort of a tradition here. Mimi's stew. Guaranteed to make Mulligan go out and look for a job. There's a pot warming on the stove.
Well, I guess I might as well show you what happens behind the bar here.
Sure, Fred.
You see, this is the good stuff, and this is the porn stuff, in case you don't ask for a brand. And make sure you put the bottles back exactly where you found them, because you don't want to reach for the porn stuff and grab the good stuff instead, okay? Oh, and be careful you don't drop any glasses, because you break one over the ice, then you got to throw out all the ice. And don't forget to check the beer pipes on the cooling plate at least once every hour, because if the plate freezes up, then you got to pour in hot water and get rid of all the ice. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd have no
Well, now, look,
trouble at
here's
all.
the price.
Oh, I almost forgot. Around 11 o'clock, Joe Rondoli comes in here and plays piano. Christmas songs, old favorites, things like that. It wouldn't be Christmas around here without Joe.
Yeah, listen, we already paid him by check.
Now, come on. I want to hit Route 29.
All right, I'm coming, I'm
Well, you
coming.
know how that traffic builds up around Lake Winoka.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, both of you.
You be careful, you hear?
Oh, sure, Fred. Merry Christmas?
Yeah.
Marcia,
Yeah?
what's a cooling plate?
Maybe that's where you put Mimi's stew when it boils.
Thank you for calling, Marcia. Dan and Marcia Levine in place.
Makes an even dozen.
We're off to a good start.
That's what they said aboard the Titanic.
Mr. Glickstein, you should try to think positively.
The Reverend is right. A project like this, so much goodwill on all sides, it has to succeed because people want it to.
I agree completely.
Michael, may I speak to you privately?
Oh, certainly did. Excuse me.
We won't be disturbed in there.
Good. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Disaster doesn't always strike at once. You know, sometimes it lurks before it pounces. Like a salesman who waits outside your door till you've settled down for a nap. Glickstein speaking. What's wrong? He's not there? Yeah, right away.
Betrayal? Yes, I said betrayal. Betrayal.
Betrayal of what?
Barry, you made a commitment.
Your commitment, not mine. Barry, don't get your father upset.
Jenny, will you please? Let me handle this.
Hello?
This is Morris Glickstein. Is Barry there?
I can't
Why
hear
are you
you.
trying to
Can you
destroy
speak
it?
a little louder, please? Morris who?
Will you give me that, please? Leo Silver speaking.
Leo, this is Morris. Is your son there?
Barry? I believe he is.
You believe he is? Well, you better believe that he gets his tail over to station KNJ, because they're waiting there with their tapes hanging out.
Oh, is it time?
Is it time? It's 18 minutes to Armageddon.
All right, don't worry, Morris. I'll see that he gets over there myself. Barry?
He just went up to his room.
Barry!
Leo, don't get too excited. Remember Jack Sobel? They found him in his jogging suit.
Barry, Morris Glickstein called. They're waiting for you at the radio station. All right. Let's take a minute. We'll talk this over calmly and logically.
That's what I tried to do, remember? It was the two of you who got hysterical.
Barry, how do you expect us to feel? You're home on vacation 1 week. You drop a bombshell like that.
You could at least have discussed it with us first.
Mom, we had the discussion, and I gave you my answer. I'm not going back to college.
So what is it? You found a girl you want to live with. Hey, that's not such a terrible thing these days. You could still finish school. So you'll rent an apartment off campus, right?
We'd even help you furnish.
Of course. All right, so if not a girl, what? Barry, you got in with some cult that poisoned your mind against the plans we made.
The plans you made.
But you could have had anything. Medicine, dentistry, engineering. You chose pre-law yourself.
From the list you gave me.
So who has your best interests at heart? Some commune where they sit around smoking marijuana?
Is that what you really think of me?
Wait a minute, where are you going?
I don't know. The first bus out of here.
Barry, what about that temple thing? People are waiting for you. A whole town is waiting and counting on you, Barry. You're walking out on them, too.
I'm walking out for air. For a chance to breathe, because that's everyone's right. And you're smothering me.
Barry! Have you got enough money?
Glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild. God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise. Join the triumph of the skies. With your children first proclaim. Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King.
Terrific. Let's sing it again and we'll all put some gifts in the bag. Come on, kids.
Hark the herald
Excuse me.
angels sing.
Have you seen the charge nurse?
Adele, you don't recognize me? Sid Weinberg from Temple. Ho, ho, ho.
Sidney, you look wonderful.
Oh, it's typecasting. You'll see a lot of friends you know here tonight. Dr. Goldman's in emergency surgery. Lee Applebaum's in the admitting office. Sylvia Klein is running the gift shop. And Gary Berger's on bedpan patrol. Ho, ho, ho.
Well, listen, if you need any help handing out those presents, I'm going to be here all
Are you
night.
Adele Serkin?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Polly Bradford. Thank God you're here. This place has been a living nightmare. Come with me. Now, I'm assigning you to Sharon Hayes. She was in an accident with a sled, has a badly injured spleen, a subcapsular hematoma. Now, it could rupture at any time, in which case she'd need immediate surgery. So check her vital signs every 15 minutes and her temperature every hour. She's NPO, has an IV in her now, 5% glucose and saline, and keep a continuous check on her level of consciousness.
Look, I don't know if they told you, but I haven't worked in quite a few years.
Now,
I'm
let me
not
tell you
sure.
my problems. I have a child down the hall with a fractured femur who just climbed over the rail and fell out of bed, another one with a tracheostomy, and a third with URI in a croup tent. And my only nurse's aide is on the telephone trying to track down her parents so we can get their permission for surgery. You're the best I can give her now, not to mention the only one.
Hello, Sharon. I'm Adele.
Are you gonna take care of me?
Yes, honey. I'm going to take care of you.
Hello.
Where are the Horgans?
They went to visit their daughter up at Lake Winoka. We're covering for them.
Oh, relatives?
No.
Friends?
Not exactly.
Hired help?
No.
Well, then why are you covering for them?
It's a community project sponsored by our temple.
Oh, Masons.
Temple Beth Sholem. Arbor Road.
Oh. Thought you people didn't care so much for whiskey.
Oh, that was the older generation. We've become well integrated.
Why don't you sit down?
You know, Christmas Eve won't seem the same without the Horgans.
Oh, it'll be like it always was. Guaranteed.
Sure, why not give us a chance?
Well, all right, I'll,
Good.
There you are, young lady.
What'll you have?
You mean they didn't tell you?
Tell us what?
Well, about me, I'm Kevin Grady. I come here every Christmas Eve. Always order the same thing.
Oh, I guess maybe they told us and we forgot.
Why don't you just tell us again?
Egg milk punch with extra sugar. That's light on the rum, heavy on the brandy, and everything else the same except half and half instead of milk.
Got that, Dan?
Coming up.
How about some stew to go with it?
Mimi stew?
Nothing bad.
Picture me refusing.
Coming up. Dan? Could you come in here a minute, please? Like now?
What happened?
I goofed. I couldn't find a ladle.
Well, there's still enough for half a dozen people. Just don't fill up the bowls. I gotta get back to that drink.
How's it coming?
Right now it looks like pancake batter.
This is the finest egg milk punch I have ever tasted.
Well, I know you're gonna like the stew. Mimi made it herself right before she left.
The place. I beg your pardon. We were looking for Horgan's Bar. This is Horgan's Bar. We're just substituting for tonight.
Oh, good. See, I told you it was the right place, Phil.
Yeah, my wife and I met here 15 years ago, Christmas Eve. We thought it'd be fun to celebrate the anniversary. You know.
Here's the both of you.
Oh, thank you very much. We brought some friends with us to help us celebrate. George, Elaine, come on in. It's the right place.
About this house for years.
Merry Christmas. Happy anniversary. It's a double Santa. Oh, happy anniversary. It's a double. Oh, yes, I'm a regular. This is the famous milk.
Miss, look, we'll all have drinks and great big bowls of Mimi's stew, huh? Oh, this is
Grady. Grady.
Oh, Phil Moran. Nice to know you.
Good Irish name.
Oh, well, we tried.
The crisis at Horgan's Bar was nothing compared to what happened at the radio station. You know, I was worried that no one would show up, but unfortunately, somebody did.
Are you Silver?
Yes.
Man, you really cut it close. I was ready to go on myself, and the Engineers Union does not like that one little bit.
I'm sorry, we have a little
Put your coat
difficulty.
right there. You sit here, wait for my cue. The intro is taped by the regular DJ. That's Chips Domino. He leads right into you, all right?
Wait, where is the script?
The script? You gotta be kidding me, right? Man, this ain't New York or Hollywood. You have here a list of the songs and the recording artists in the order they're gonna be played. You just announce them, dig? Headsets. No. Never mind that. Your mic switch off.
Chips Domino here, rocking you wild on KNJ with the top 40 countdown. Pleasuring you with that funky sound. But tonight I'm off in another space, doing my Christmas scene with my Domino gal and little Chips. So here in my place is a noble starship rider, Barry Silver. Hallelujah, he's gonna rock up a storm.
The first song will be Screeching My Moped Moped. Screeching My Moped for You by the Iron Balloon. It's a very nifty number.
Oh, a little tight. There, all over.
Is my heart working okay?
Certainly looks that way.
Then can I go home?
Hey, what's the matter? You don't like us here? Anyway, we've been calling your mother and father all evening and nobody's home. You don't happen to know where they are, do you?
They went to a party.
Oh, where?
I don't know. I was supposed to stay over at Melanie's house. She's my best friend.
Oh. Well, parties have to end sooner or later, and then we'll hear from them. Now, I think it's time for you to go to sleep. Have we had our bath yet?
You mean, have I had my bath?
That's exactly what I mean.
You talk funny.
Well, that's the way we used to say it. I haven't worked in quite some time, you know.
How come?
Well, I got married and decided to be a wife instead of a nurse. So I stayed home to have children, only I didn't. And then my husband changed his job and he started to travel, and I traveled with him.
I'm gonna travel someday. England, China, Chicago. You ever been to those places?
Not China.
I'm gonna be an airline stewardess. That way you can go without paying.
Very practical.
Do you still travel with your husband?
No.
Did you change his job again?
Did you ever play the game of connecting dots? The one who makes the most squares wins. My mother always played this with me when I was sick.
Gee, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes? About what?
You know.
No, I don't know.
Your husband died, didn't he?
Well, how did you know that?
Because when people don't want to say that, they talk about something else.
Let's see if we can bring some of that party in here, huh? Sydney, do you have a present for little girl down the hall? Something extra nice?
Oh, donated by Schneider's department store. It's a beauty.
Thank you.
You want some cake and ice cream, too? Huh?
Oh, she'd love it, but she can't. She's NPO.
Huh?
Nothing by mouth.
I'll drop by in there a little later.
Okay. Seems that Santa was a little too...
I don't feel good.
Make us go now.
The pressure has dropped to 80 over 50, pulse rapid, and she's sweating.
I need a doctor in pediatrics, staff.
Eight o'clock Christmas Eve. Last-minute shoppers were rushing home. Santa packed up for his long night's journey, and at Temple Beth Sholem, the battle reports were coming in. Cy Perlman, who was working as a night security guard, led a courageous chase through a supermarket and apprehended an invading squirrel, while Gladys Mandel, who was working a telephone switchboard, accidentally connected Hank's Burger Ranch with the coroner of Freehold, New Jersey. But all these problems were minor compared to...
Rita Solomon speaking.
It's Marcia Levine. We've got a crisis here.
Why should you be different? You need 6 gallons of what?
Mimi's stew. Mimi's.
What can I tell you? A flying saucer fell to Earth and we've been invaded by the giant stew eaters.
Relax. I think we can handle that. What is Mimi's stew?
How should I know? I'm not the galloping gourmet.
You got a mouth? You got a tongue? Give a taste and tell.
Okay, just a minute. It's got potatoes.
Potatoes?
And onions.
Onions?
Some other vegetable.
Carrots?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. What about the meat?
Meat? Oh, yeah, there's meat.
What kind of meat?
Beef, like pot roast.
Chuck steak.
Mm-hmm. And some other flavor, a spice.
Salt and pepper?
No, a spice. Oh, I know that taste. Paprika.
Paprika?
Mm-hmm.
I got news for you. She may call it Mimi's stew, but it's my Aunt Esther's Hungarian goulash. I'll see if she's got some in her freezer.
6 gallons?
Don't worry, don't worry. I got lots of ladies with freezers. So we mix a little, blend a little. Stand by, reinforcements on the way.
Hurry.
Why all the trouble? They're hungry. Give them tuna fish sandwiches.
After we promised the Horgans we'd run this place exactly the way they would, that would be dishonest.
You're very quick to get all puffed up, full of integrity, ready to fight.
Well, what about it?
It makes you look damn cute.
The spleen is ruptured, no question. The abdomen filling with blood. Have you found her parents?
Not yet.
We're gonna have to operate right away, with or without their permission. I'll call the OR. Give her pre-op medication, 0.3 of scope,
0.3 of scope.
plus 25 mgs of Demerol.
Yes, doctor.
It's not very dangerous, is it? I mean, they took out plenty of spleens when I was in practice. I imagine it's a lot safer now, huh?
Sharon has sickle cell traits. If she loses oxygen during anesthesia, she could go into crises. I'll get the medication.
The 817 bus to Chicago, stopping at Youngstown, Cleveland, Toledo, South Bend, and Gary, now boarding at gate number 4.
The next selection will be My Soul is Aching, Aiken for the Macon County Jail. Oh, I didn't, there's a rhyme in there, Aiken and Macon. Sung by the Creations.
Man, who is that turkey? They should have had him for Thanksgiving.
The 8:30 bus to Minneapolis and St. Paul, now boarding at gate number 2.
Here we go.
Adele, will you be here when I get back?
You can count on it. Please make her well. Please.
Oh, heavens. Oh, where should we put them? Right there on the stove. It smells delicious.
Anything that's heavy can't sit too well on the stomach.
Give me your coat. Thanks for helping, Reverend.
Oh, it's no problem. I worked my way through seminary as a busboy.
That's Stu.
Here we are. Thank you. Thank you very
Miss, it tastes different somehow.
Yeah, you know, it's more like beef bourguignon.
No, that's Brunswick stew. Just the way you get up in Maine.
No, honey, you're wrong. It's stufato di carne con belli pomodori.
Oh, I don't think so. It's more like
I must admit that Mimi stew took a different turn on the way from the kettle, but it's hot and it's tasty. And we're going to have a great party just as soon as the music gets here.
Morgan's Bar. But why not? But we've got 24 people waiting. Let's see. That was Mrs. Rondoli, the pianist's wife.
I see it coming.
He got a last-minute job in a nightclub up in Toronto.
Does anyone know a pianist? My son takes lessons.
Forget it.
Oh, we have a church organist.
Oh, there must be someone who can do it.
And I think I know how to find that person.
40 countdown. Moving on now with number 17. It's funk, it's new, it's heavy metal too, baby. It's the chart-smashing sound of Rigo Rem and his Red Hot Rockers on Cruise Line. Try it.
What happened? You miss your bus?
No, Dad, I just decided not to get on it.
Why not?
Oh, I thought you might need some help.
Oh, I'm doing fine here. I don't need any favors.
It's not a favor. It's something that you said that's been on my mind. Something about commitment.
Barry, you're not quitting college?
I'm not quitting, but I'm not going back right now. Dad, listen to me. I know that you think that I'm freaking out on drugs or sex or some kind of far-out cult thing, but you're wrong. You don't know me. And I can't blame you for that, because I don't know myself. That's why I have to go away. I gotta see things. I gotta find out how I feel about things. And that's when I'll know who I am. And when I know, I'll be able to make a decision about my life.
Freddie Elijah Greenspan.
Huh?
Freddie Elijah Greenspan. He was a friend of mine years ago before I met your mother. Wild, impulsive kind of guy. He'd do anything that came into his head. Once he painted the town statue blue. And he left a sign saying, "More heat for public buildings." When I hung around with Freddie, I felt free. You know, once he said, "Hey, let's get on a train, and we'll go someplace. We'll just keep going until the money runs out. Who knows, maybe we'll wind up on a riverboat, in a coal mine, on a ranch in Texas." When he said that, the whole world opened up, Barry. And I realized for the first time that something else was possible besides my father's insurance business.
Did you go?
Got scared at the last minute. Well, seemed safer to stay where I was and know what was going to happen tomorrow. As if anyone ever does. So, stuck with my father's insurance business, married your mother, and I've been happy most of the time.
What happened to Freddie?
I never heard from him again. But you know, if I ever do, I'm gonna thank him. Because he helped me more than anyone else ever did.
Helped you? How?
When things got bad, Barry, when it all seemed hopeless and I felt trapped, I always knew that something else was possible.
We need someone to play the piano at Horgan's Bar. You please make an announcement when this racket stops.
Glickstein, how did you ever get so square? It's not a racket, man. That's soul.
I gave Peter his 11 o'clock medication, and he's sound asleep.
What good?
Have you heard anything?
Not yet. You've done very well tonight. We're grateful.
Polly.
Yes?
I hear you give refresher courses.
Evenings, twice a week.
I'd like to learn about the new medications, the new life support systems.
Well, there'll be lots of Sharons, and some won't make it.
I want to learn.
I'll get you all the information you need.
Thanks. I'll check the croup tent.
Rabbi Miller speaking.
A piano player?
No. Yes, Eddie, thank you for calling. Flat tire fixed, taxi back in operation.
Well, I've got a feeling that we've come through the worst.
May I remind you, Reverend, with all due respect, that the evening isn't over yet?
Morris, since this project began, we have heard only negative thoughts from you. Why now, when everything is going well, why more prophecies of doom?
Just observing our religion, Rabbi.
Observing our religion? How?
Oh, we are told that we are put on earth to carry out God's will.
So?
So I figure that my job is to worry. Because if God's will depends on us, he's got to be worried too.
Excuse me. Is this the committee?
Jobs for Christmas, yes, sir. May we help you?
Yes, I'm Martin Kaplan, and I heard on the radio, KNJ, that...
You're a pianist?
Well, strictly as a hobby.
Well, that's wonderful. Come with me, sir. Come with me. Mr. Kaplan has just proved that worrying pays.
Here's to you. Here's looking at
May I have your attention, please? Our pianist, Mr. Martin Kaplan.
Show him. Mr. Kaplan, we had something else in mind, you know, something more popular.
Oh. Well, I know some mazurkas that are quite lively. I think you'll like this one.
Mr. Kaplan. No, I mean something, you know, really popular.
I could play the entire score of Naughty Marietta, but I'd have to go home for the sheet music.
Oh, that I think that'd be a good idea.
To go home?
You better go home. You better go home for the sheet music, Mr. Kaplan. But no, that's all right. You stay in your house. You stay in your house there, and that's it. You get your coat on. You stay in your house until I call you, because there may be a change in plans.
You know, okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming down. I'm sorry.
Shalom.
Oh, thank you.
That's what they say to each other. It's like Merry Christmas. It is. Shalom.
I knew it wouldn't work out. How? Did you see him? He had Carnegie Hall all over his face. See those fingers, long and thin? Whew. My mother told me if I kept practicing, I'd have long, thin fingers too. But you see, I haven't.
Glickstein, you took piano lessons?
Yeah, but that was many, many years ago. I haven't. I know what you're thinking.
Sit down.
Oh, no, I can't
Glickstein.
I don't remember. I'm
Glickstein, sit.
No, I'm telling
Play.
you. Please.
Play, just play.
I'm rusty.
Play.
All right. I told you I'm rusty.
Try
I
it
can't.
again. Try it again.
All right, you asked for it.
Oh, what fun it is to ride on one horse. You got it. Sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what thrills we go. Whirling all the way.
I can't remember the words, but Well, that night we each learned a little something. Leo Silva learned that love and respect are on both sides of a two-way street. Dan and Marcia Levine learned that the greatest turn-on for a tired marriage is doing something worthwhile together. Separate vacations. And Adele Sirkin learned that after widowhood, there is life. That year, we had a wonderful Christmas. But I wasn't surprised. After all, didn't I predict success?